Hi, welcome back to the MRV presentation. Previously we have been sneaking into MRV and have have added a new method into the MRV core. We could have altered existing ones as well, but the question we will deal with now is how can I, as a developer, add my own or have my own project using MRV? How can I write my own tools that are kind of derived from the MRV framework? So the answer to that question lies totally in the template project. So it doesn't really exist yet, but the template for the template project is called Anim IO, Animation Import Export. A very simple tool, if you ask me, which is important because it's supposed to be guiding the template project later on. So let's just have a quick look into the structure of Anim IO to learn about what the template project will look like later on. Anim IO provides you with a library that is able to export and import animation. It's totally object-oriented. The UI uses that library to do the work. Basically, it provides an interface to that library to the user. And that's mainly it. That's really all the two modules that we have. Another important thing is, of course, the test suite. It follows the conventions set up by MRV, but it doesn't necessarily have to. It's just quite nice to work with that, so we use it, of course. So let's have a look into tests. It nearly follows the original structure. So the test lib will test the library functions, of course. And there's a separate package, which is not a real package, the init function is missing, which tests the UI stuff. This is just an arbitrary choice. I could have put it into the root level as well and make sure that I don't try to run in batch mode. That's the way you prevent these tests, usually because you need UI support to make them run. And yeah, some performance tests are always interesting because there are some very tight loops inside of the code, and you want to make sure that these run as fast as possible, of course, a few fixtures and so on. So it follows the basic directory structure set up by MRV. But where is MRV? That's a totally legitimate question. MRV is in an external, and I use Git to put it in. So I just set it up as a Git submodule, and right now I'm using the development version of MRV mainline. Later on, the template project will use the source distribution, but it's up to you in the end what you want to use. Right now it's all in development mode, so I use the development version of MRV. The great thing is that the template project is able to reuse everything that MRV provides, so all the tools, the command line tools, you can use from within your derived project as well. So if you want to build documentation, you don't need all the extra tools yourself, you just reuse what is provided by Maya. So right now there's not much documentation here, but it's already working. I can build that not much documentation without any problems. So let's just have a look at how MRV or the MRV tools know what they deal with. Because, well, how can they know that this is Anim IO and not MRV, and how can they know how they have to adjust the system path to get things working? The answer lies within the info module, which is right here. So it contains some vital information about your project, like the version. That's very important, as the version will be propagated into your documentation as well and will affect the way you distribute your software. And of course some configuration for the documentation and the distribution system. But that's really it. You basically go in here and alter some strings and suddenly it becomes your project. Of course later on you will also be able to easily, and the emphasis here is on easily, write your own command line tools which are using MRV, because that's a very powerful application for the MRV framework. Just imagine you can write your own render command which renders in your way or uses your pipeline to render. That's easily done. using MRV if you have a template project to derive from or to use as a foundation. So let's try to use Anim IO then. So first of all, I want to run the test. I have MRV in my external, and there I have the test executable called tmrv, as we have learned previously as well. And I can just run my Anim IO tests now. It uses my 2011 for this, but I could also specify a different one. So as you see, there are just a few tests and they succeeded apparently. And if I want to test the user interface, I could of course do so. I just want to make explicit that I'm using 2011 because I have a UI license for this installed. And then I say I want to have full Maya support. And I want to run the UI tests, and there we go. It might be that you don't really see anything pop up here because it's just for the fraction of a second visible. The way I set up these UI tests is if they work, they should actually quit Maya right away. But perhaps I just changed it so it doesn't, because it appears that the test actually worked, but it didn't close my UI. Perhaps I'm still in some test mode and forgot about it. So what you see here is that Maya comes up in a very rough mode that doesn't give you any of its default UI, which makes it run up much faster. So it will just start up your tests, and you are responsible to show your own user interfaces and to test them, as you see here. So I think there's not much implemented, just a few callbacks that direct the focus here so that you can start typing right away, but it's not much else implemented. Nonetheless, it shows you how you can even test user interfaces with MRV in your derived projects. So that's actually quite interesting, and we can, could dive into this, but for now, I just want to show you how easy it is to distribute, to bring such a project to your end user. So let's quickly create a distribution. So let's see what we have. We have a setup script already. The setup script is really just a wrapper which launches the MRV setup script. So let's just do this. I want to create a source distribution here, and that's really it. So now I have a new and very simple archive which contains all the source code, including the dependencies that I need. So you could just upload this somewhere, and there you go. So let's go into Maya and install it for Maya 2011. The script is in your Maya Python path automatically, so I just basically have to copy the file I just created in here, extract it, and I'm unable to extract it with the command. I could never remember this, so I'm always doing it like this. And I rename it to Anim IO because the top level folder is important. Later on, of course, this will be coming up with the right name right away, so the user doesn't have to do it. And now I can actually start Maya 2011 and see what it does. So it should come up any second now. So just imagine this is a shell script button, and you can even make this simpler if you want to. So I import Anim IO just for you to show. I have no MRV installed here, so that's coming in with MIO. First of all, I'm importing the UI. MRV started in the background. You don't even have to care for this. And now I can start the UI. So now the user has full support for exporting his animation, and later on for importing his animation. And that's really as simple as that. It's all Python, it's all my API, and it's very easy to use if you ask me, including the distribution. And there is much more that I didn't show yet, including the make doc and so on. So that's just an early preview of the documentation of the template project, of course, and there's much more to come, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching.